So what I'm about to teach you is good practice, even if you've done lots of art, because I think it's essential. And if you haven't done it before, you've really got to do it as well, because it's all to do with the basics of using the pencil. If you've ever done a picture before and you're thinking, it's not right, I don't know why doesn't look right. Sometimes there's just 2 or 3 things that are wrong with it, and if you sort those out, you can have a much better picture. So this morning, the first half we're going to practice on, we're not going to be drawing anything, so you can relax. Okay, the first bit is about mark making and tone, because if you can get different marks out of the pencil, and if you can get a full range of tone out of the pencil, you're already a major leap forward. Because I've noticed a lot of people's drawings, when they're not confident, they tend to be very grey. There's no dark, there's no white, and it's like all this nervous kind of thing on the paper. And so I thought, right, let's get past all that, and we're gonna do some mark making. Now, one of the techniques they sometimes teach at college is to completely fill your paper with pencil before you even start. So you've already got rid of the white, and then you start drawing on top of it and rubbing back into it. But that's leaping too far ahead. Let's start from the beginning. And I presume you're all beginners, based on what any of you done much before? So,
never draw. I've done watercolours.
Right. But of course, with watercolours, you start off with a pencil drawing, don't you? And I've met many people who want to have a go at art. They've never done it before, really, and the first thing they want to do is watercolours, and they say, "Have you done much drawing?" And they say, "No, not really." So drawing is a good thing. The more drawing you do, the better your watercolours will get.
Yes.
Because you'll have an understanding of where things need to be. But what I do like about pencil drawing is drawing is very forgiving, because you make a mistake, just get the rubber out, sort it out. Watercolours, you can't do that. So, right, let's just start off. You should all have a pencil, paper and a rubber. I might get a scrap of paper as well. If any of you have got rubber that's a bit grubby, you can rub that down a bit. Just a few pencil sharpeners as well. This bit of paper, if you need to clean the rubber off a little bit, you can. This should be right for now.
Do this, Fox. It's a good exercise.
Okay.
Fresh again, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I know I did it last Saturday. And yeah, I was really good. Yeah, no, I really
We won't use the rubber just yet, but it's in a bit more rub. Look how confident I am. I'm so confident, you're going to be amazing. Okay, we're going to do 2 lines. The first one, draw a line as you would normally, just a simple line like that. And this is going to be to compare it to the next line. Okay, it's a normal line. Okay, now we're going to do a line again, but this time, this is all about pressure, right? Put as much pressure as you can on the pencil, and as you're going along, put less and less on, and less and less and less, until in the end you've got virtually no pressure at all. I'll try and show you. Okay? You're changing the weight of the line by the different amount of pressure, so you put more pressure on at the start, and as you go along, it gets lighter and lighter, until in the end you're virtually tickling the paper. You need to know when you're drawing a picture, you've got control, and you can get whatever depth you want, and this is a big part of it. Okay, that's fine. It does jump a little bit there, so you're looking for more of a flow as you're going along. Yeah, don't worry if that's happened. Yeah, you've got it. Yeah. Try doing it again, but instead, holding your pencil, this may look a bit weird at first. We're used to writing like this, because in the day-to-day life, when you've got a pen or whatever, and you're writing letters or whatever, you're holding it like that. Have a go at holding it differently. So actually, you notice on the pencil that you've got like a flat, you've got like a longer edge, haven't you? You've got the point, and then you've got this bit here. Well, what happens if you hold it on the side? And we get a thicker line for starters, but also it gets you to look at it differently. This may seem a bit strange at first, because you wouldn't normally hold a pen like this. So, yeah. Obviously, when you have something like charcoal, you can hold the whole thing on its side and move it across the paper, and you get a really wide kind of line. You get things like graphite sticks, which are really chunky, almost like charcoal, but they're actually pencils. And they're really, you can hold them, they've got like quite a wide edge. Okay, so we're looking at different thicknesses of line, different weights of line. doesn't need to be straight, that's not important. Yeah. It's a nice line though. See if you can start off darker and then end up lighter when you get to there. Yeah. Look at that. Yeah, it's perfect. Fourth one. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it wouldn't necessarily occur to you to hold a pencil like that when you're drawing, but it works, I think. Okay. So what we've achieved in just one line is a range of different tones. Here's another exercise that is to do with tone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create this. I'll hold this up inside. Okay, I've created. It doesn't have to be 6 boxes. It can be 5 if you like. See that I've just drawn. Okay. Just on one of the ends, it can be the first one or the last one. I'm going to block it in as dark as it will possibly go. Okay, as dark as you can get that pencil. You're currently using a 2B pencil. A 2B pencil is a good all-rounder. You're not going to get any tone, any darkness if you're going to HB pencil or a hard lead. What you want, 2B is a good all-rounder because you can get precision, but you can also get a lot of depth to it. Obviously, if you get a 6B or an 8B or something, you're going to get some real dark tones. If you've got a big picture on the go and you've got a full area that needs to be very dark, that's when you start putting out your darker pencils. But if you just want a good all-round, if you're only allowed one pencil, make it a 2 or a 3B, because that you get it's a good all-round pencil. So your first box, hopefully, you'll probably be etching into the table maybe, but nice and dark like that. You can get it that dark. The last box we'll leave alone, and the idea now is that we make each box progressively lighter as we go along. So the box next to the white will be very, very light, so light you can barely see the pencil mark. One technique for getting very light is actually to hold the pencil at the other end. And again, that seems a bit strange, but we were talking about pressure before. This is a good way of making sure you don't go too dark. This is quite a nice technique. Okay, so if you all have a go at drawing those boxes, don't make them too big, otherwise you'll be shading it for the rest of the day. If you just have about 5 or 6 boxes. Be darker than that, or lighter than that. So you sort of... It needs to be
I thought
mid-stage.
to make another one on the end, just
Yeah, go on.
that one because I didn't have enough space.
Go on then. If you need to add boxes, you can. If you realise you haven't gone. That's up to you there. Don't worry if you haven't filled it to the line. It's not colouring book, but they're just guidelines really. The boxes are. Pretty good.
I think those 2 will keep the same.
Yeah, see, this is what happens. Just squeeze the thing. What you could do is you can make that one darker,
Right.
a little bit. That one, leave that one alone.
Okay.
Because when you make that darker, that will look different. And you can do the rubbish, you can generally move that back a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all different. Obviously you could do 20 boxes, 50 boxes, and then make each one different. But obviously the more boxes you do, the more difficult.
What I'm good to have and actually doing is to actually see what you're capable of, and then what want it to match that.
Actually, we'll be doing, when we do the drawing exercise, there is actually one of those on the side, it's a printer, and on the side there is one of those.
Yeah, because it's so easy to just resort to the same.
Yeah.
But to, remind yourself. I like that.
Okay. If when you're sort of filling it in and your pencil seems to be scratching the paper rather than filling it in, sometimes because the pencil just needs sharpening, and sometimes if you just get a stray bit of wood that's kind of sticking out, then that can sometimes happen. There are pencil sharpeners around if you need to. Okay. Less pressure, nice and light. That's it. Okay. Well, we're gonna be a bit more free and easy now. No boxes. And this is what we're going to go light to dark again. No boxes. You can go. It doesn't matter if you go light to dark or dark to light, as long as you get the full range. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to go freehand and as I go along. You see that?
Did you? Oh, you didn't alter the where you hold the pencil.
No, I didn't
though,
actually.
did you?
You can actually,
You didn't.
but again, you can do it. You can do it like that.
Yeah.
See what I was saying before about the pencil
Yeah.
scratching? It's
Yeah.
quite nice actually. Quite like that. Depends on what you're trying to achieve. Just have that as well.
Yes.
Yeah. What we've got here though is this bit's really nicely done. There's a bit of a jump between that and that.
Yes.
What you can do is you can go back on top
Yeah.
and just lightly just blend it in. Okay.
I seem to be kind of narrowing it in.
It doesn't matter if it narrows. I think
Yeah,
I think I do that.
Yes.
That's not the problem though. The thing is, it needs to fade to nothing, and there's a jump between that and that. So a good way of doing it is just to go back on top of it. I'll just do the side one and do the other. See how much blending that's actually.
Yeah.
Hi, Mummy.
We go on the other side.
Mummy.
I'll do a fade into nothing, and otherwise I'll do like a
Mummy.
little bit darker. Yeah, but generally that's fine. And again, you've got the jump as well. It goes fairly dark and then jumps to light grey and then carries on light grey. So when you get to about harder than you think, isn't it? Yeah. If you can master this though, this is a really key thing in drawing. If you can get that control over your pencil, you can get that range of tone, you will use this all the time. This is a really useful technique. That's better. And then gently pull back, barely touching it. I think the reason that a lot of people are okay with the mid thing is because the amount of pressure you normally put on a pen is not a lot and not light, it's sort of somewhere in between. So you're okay doing your grey bits. It's when you go really dark and when you go really light. That doesn't come naturally because when we're holding a pen we never do that. I'm pretty sure that's probably what it is. Instead of, I think we used to, when we're shading, we used to doing that or like that or whatever. This is a technique I really like and I use a lot, and that is a continuous line, but it's kind of a bit erratic. Okay, so it looks like a load of scribble, however, it can build up an area. Right. Okay, and again I'm getting lighter to go along. When you're drawing from life, or if you're drawing from a picture, not everything in the picture necessarily needs to be drawn the same way. Okay, so have a go. This is I think this is a really useful one. I do mainly. Hello, Adam. Sorry, my family just appeared behind me. I've been teaching him this as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets very frustrated. Right, okay. Yes. I mainly do pictures of buildings, but there's always nature somewhere creeping in, so I don't draw it the same way. So if you've got some hedgerow, for example, and I'm thinking there's a lot of loose kind of wiry kind of things going on, so I might